What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Trading Learning 101. Today's video, I thought I'm messing around with charts today, just looking at charts, and I thought I'd just make a video and walk you guys through the thinking process that I go through when doing technical analysis on these charts. So let's jump into it. So the ticker we're going to be looking at today is ticker symbol AKTX. And if I pull up FinViz, Yahoo Finance, whenever I look at a stock, I always want to see what the float is, the shares outstanding, and the average true range. You can look at both if you want. Majority of the time, I always just look at FinViz. I always look at the float, the shares outstanding. I see an error right here. With the shares outstanding, it says 22.4 million, and the float is 0.7 million, and its average true range is 75 cents. Now, with the float that small, I'm not going to think it's going to be that small with the shares outstanding. So I'll pull up Yahoo Finance just to double check. I recommend you guys do this too whenever you don't think the float is correct or the shares outstanding is correct. Always look at other sites to compare. And on Yahoo Finance here, you can see AKTX. The float on this, they're saying, is almost 8 million. And the shares outstanding is 16 million. I'm going to keep in mind, I'm going to go more off of what Yahoo Finance is saying with the float, with it being 8 million. And I'll also scroll down and look as well, what's the percentage of the insiders and institutions holding it. We got a lot of insiders holding it with 57%. And I also like to look at the shares short. And then I'll come down to their balance sheet and I'll see how much cash they have, how much debt, their last split date, just a couple key statistics to see what the stock is into. So if I go back into FinViz, I see that it has an average true range of 75 cents. That's pretty good. Now let's go over to the charts. I always start looking the bigger time frame and work my way down. So if I pull up the daily here, I can see on the daily and zoom out that this is just a real piece of crap stock. You can see way back here, I don't know, you can see it's had a split right here. So when stocks do splits, it's going to mess up the history of the chart. Just as a quick example on how these splits mess up a chart, I type in dries here. You could see when I zoom out on the time frame and you go back and look at price, you're seeing that the stock was at 51.45 million. That will mess with a new trader that has never looked at charts before, and these shippers pop up, and that's why these shippers always catch new traders' attention, because they look at the history of the daily and they see, wow, this stock at one time was at $35 million a share and now it's at $5. I'm going to buy this, anticipating maybe it'll come back up to millions of dollars worth of per share. That's not the case. This stock has done so many reverse splits. It's unreal, and it just messed with the history of the chart. Same thing with tops. As you can see, when you zoom out on the daily, it just gets real ugly. And that's why you've seen it's up to 26 million. And then when you come down to here, you see 614,000. And you just zoom in more, and it just gets more ugly and ugly and ugly. Another one is DCIX. All these shippers, the only reason they're all like that, like I said, they've just done so many reverse splits. You could see it right there, split right here on the November 2nd, 2017. One right here in September 25th of 2017. One right here, August 24th. One right here, one right here. So many splits on this, and you could see the price way at the top up here, 42,332. That's not realistic, but that's why like I said, a lot of these new traders that come into the stock market, the shipping sectors pop off, and these new traders see and look at the history and say, wow, this stock was $42,000 back last summer, and now it's at $1. I'm gonna buy 1,000 shares of this and just hold it. And that's why when every single time these shipping companies pop up, it's hard for them to run now because there's just so many bag holders on this, hoping and then just want to get out on the stock because they've been holding it for 8 months and they just want to cut even after they've learned the truth of this. There, where did it max out at on this candle? Right there, $3. The last time this got above $3 was way over here back in January 17th of 2018. So over a year ago, this has been above $3. So now that we got that out of the way, I'll go to the 65-minute chart. I preferably like the 65-minute chart compared to the 60-minute chart because when you look at it, there's a total of 6.5 hours in a trading day, and if you divide 60 by 6.5, it doesn't equal out right. But if you add an extra 5 minutes and divide 65 into 6.5, it equals out evenly. So for data wise, if you're looking at 60-minute charts, you're missing data. So that's why I look at 65-minute charts. Now when I look at a 65-minute chart, if I see a group of candles right here with long wicks above and below it, I see instantly that this is a very volatile stock from 436 up to 575. So I'll start to zoom in on it, even on the 30-minute. That's what I want as a day trader. Long wicks above and below it. It's showing me the stock has range and it loves to move. Never mind what it did all right here. This is the backside of the move. What I want to focus and do technical analysis on this video is this move right here. How did the stock move when it was trading in this range? Zoom in on the 15-minute. So it looks like we topped out here at around 560 and we had support all day at 450. So from 450 to 560s, that's a dollar profit range right there. That's what I love to see on a stock. So I can clearly see and I can draw out resistance up here at 560s and support down here at 450s. So I'm seeing that this is in a range. And that's when I start to zoom in even more. The 10-minute. Same thing in this range. Then I zoom into the 5-minute. And you could see on the 5-minute when it had this spike, $2.11, all the way up here to 5.10, that's when it started getting into this range. Let the stock move, do what it's got to do, don't chase it. It tops out, and when it pulls back right here, it put a bottom in at 433, and then it gets a pop up again and makes a new high. And then when this pulls back again, you see how it went sideways, and then she dropped again, and look at right where she bounced at. The support right here that it established right there. That's the patience that you want to have as a day trader and wait for these opportunities. That's why they say let the stock come to you. Because if you would have chased this and got in on it right here at 520 and it drops down to 437, that's pretty much a dollar drop right there. And that's a loss that you've had just by chasing this. So we've seen it had support right here at 430. When always doing technical analysis on charts, it's very important to always have an eye out for detail. The stock will give you hints through the day of what it's doing, what the people are doing, buying and selling. And people love patterns. They love patterns. And you could clearly see they repeated patterns over and over in this. They had this run up. It pulled back right here. Buyers came in and bought it right here at 430s. They rode it up to this new high right here, 567. They all sell it. And then they all sell it. And then it comes back down to the level that was right here. They do the same thing. They rebuy it. They rebuy it and ride it up. Ride it up, comes right up to this resistance up here at 560s. They sell it. They let it fall back down. People take their profits. Gets another quick pop right here. And then it comes right back down in a big sell-off from 570s all the way down to 470. A dollar drop again. And you could always add trend lines. Don't be scared to add trend lines. You could see that there was now an established trend making lower or higher lows as this went up. This is on the 5-minute, the 3-minute, and the 1-minute. See, when you always look at different time frames, you can always pick up on something and see something new. Don't worry about the next day. We'll get to the next day. I just want to focus on what it did this day right here. This is how you plot out your lines for the next day as well, and trade off of those lines that the stock did the previous day. That's why I always say it's good to have patience and wait for the stock to come to you, because there's multiple people trading on different time frames. You got people that only trade on 65-minute charts. You got people who only trade on 30-minute charts, 15-minute charts, 10-minute charts, 5-minute charts, 3-minute charts, 2-minute charts, and 1-minute charts. That's why during the day as well, I'll consistently check all the time frames just to go back and see if I could pick up on anything that's forming a pattern, that's forming the big picture. That's what I want to see. So this is the 1-minute chart, and you could see from pretty much right here at 11 o'clock all the way, I'm going to say till 2 o'clock, 3.5, 4 hours, this stock was in a range from 440 up to 575. That's pretty much a $1.30 profit area range right here. That's what I want to see as a day trader. For me, when the market first opens, the first 15 to 30 minutes, I try not to trade because I want these stocks to do whatever they need to do and then set up a familiar pattern that I am familiar with. Consolidate, set up a pattern, and show me which way the stock wants to run. Because when the bell first rings, it's pretty much gambling. You don't know which way the stock's going to go. People are buying and selling, selling and buying so fast, and so much is going on. And then that's when your emotions can kick in, and it can ruin your whole day. You could blow up your one account on just one trade. Why do that when you could just sit there, let the naive and ignorant people trade the open, let the stock set up, and profit off of pattern recognition? That's why I say you got to get your screen time in so you see this stuff over and over and over again. And it'll just instantly kick in, and you'll get a feel for the stock. And you'll know because you've seen it happen several times before. And all stocks move differently. So look at what we had here. At the beginning of the day, right at the open, this stock went from $2, spikes up to $2.70. And then it starts to grind its way up and over 3 to 325. So let me get my pen here. So it tops out right here. And then she starts to grind up. And she starts to grind and grind and grind. Yeah, she did make a U-shape right here, but that's not much of a range for a U-shape. What is that, from $3 to $3.20? That's not really worth it. So even if you were to buy at this breakout right there, that's pretty much a false breakout. And then it pulls back and drops even lower. Remember, see the big picture. You see that this is riding this yellow line right here. This yellow line is the VWAP. And we're continually making higher lows. It grinds up right here. It puts a top in right there. And then you can see it starts to stabilize right in this area. And then we get this big pop right here. And then this is what I call a micro pullback. This is an exaggerated micro pullback because this pullback lasted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes. of just sideways action right here. And then we get this climb up from 320s all the way up to a high here of 420. And this is still under 1 hour of the trading day. This is all happening just up until 10:30. Then the stock consistently runs up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes. It just every candle's green. Just goes up and up and up and up and up. So you're gonna have people wanting to sell and take profit. We start making lower lows, and then you can see real quickly here that it starts to stabilize and form like a U shape. And you see how it does that? And then once again, if you were to buy that breakout when it broke this previous high right here from 450s pretty much, and then it comes up to 480, that's only 30 cents. I'm not looking for something like that. I want more of a move where this comes up, makes a new high again, pulls back, and on this candle right here, she's bouncing off of old resistance. She's establishing new support. That's what I want to see. And it's at a mental area as well, 450. And then from 450, we grind all the way up to $5, a 50-cent move right there. And then after that move, she did make a new high for the day. Again, we're going to have people wanting to take profits. And what do? We start making lower lows all the way down. Lower lows and lower highs all the way down. You can see how this channeled downward like that. And then we get a brief pause, and the stock goes sideways, and then boom, from 437, we run all the way up and make a new high up here at 550s. A dollar move right there. And just to point out, where did this slowly but surely sell down to and consolidate going sideways right here at the support that it established right here. Remember, old resistance is new support, and it confirmed it right here. That's a great opportunity in observing and having the patience for a big payday. Right there, this area right here. From observing this from the open at 9:30, being patient and placing your trade an hour and a half after this ran for a nice dollar profit. That's patience paying off at its best. And that's why they say patience pays. When I'm every day, that's why I come prepared every single day. And I have a clear mind and I can focus with no distractions and just observe what the stock is telling me. I'll delete all this again. You can clearly see resistance right there. She made support right there. The stock went up and then she trended down and she's bouncing and going sideways. Confirming and holding support right there. And then buying comes in and boom, she gets a shot up and even some more exaggerated movement up as people love to chase this and continue to buy and buy and buy and buy. And this had an exaggerated move all the way up to 565. So from 438 to 565, that's pretty much a $1.40 move right there. 1,000 shares, that's $1,400. All within, from 11:06, she topped out at 11:08. 2 minutes, 3 minutes would have made your day. And then after that move, she sold down. We'll draw the new high out for the day. As you could see, it retouched it right there. And as you could see, she sold down. And then she went into a channel right here. And you can see this old channel support is leading back at this old resistance that was right here. But somewhat of a good scalping out opportunity. This is what scalpers look for. So There's all types of traders out there. There are traders that look for the big move. There are traders out there that look for scalping opportunities, channels, and this is one of them. A nice little channel right here from $5 up to $5.35. A nice 30-cent scalping opportunity right here. From here to here, waiting for it to pull back down to support, selling into the pop, buying back in again, selling into the pop. And then you could see the stock broke through that support. And when it broke through that support, look at right where she bounced at. Again, right at this support right here. This main support when it made this big move up right here. Again, having the patience, letting the stock come to you, trusting in your lines, not getting ahead of yourself and just jumping in on these stocks. That's one thing I hate about Street Smart Edge when you're trying to study on the weekend. The chart just disappears on you for a quick second and then pops back up and you're completely at the other end of the screen. And you can even connect the dots. You could see it was clearly making lower highs all the way down. Also making lower lows all the way down. She comes down to a main support area, pretty much bounces off of it again, and she slowly starts trending higher, and she starts making higher lows with higher highs. So you could see it was channeling down, a very quick sideways action right here, and then starts channeling up. It's all about how you look at these charts and put it together. And the only way to get good at that is by practicing and practicing and practicing. Normally through lunch hours from 11:30 to 1 o'clock, most charts you'll see, if they have a morning spike, they'll go sideways from 11:30 to 1 o'clock because people make their money and they go to lunch. They take a long lunch and then they come back, and that's why they call it power hour. The last couple hours of the day, that's when you could see the stock make another big move to the upside, or you could see it make a big move to the downside. And today, we've seen it make a move to the upside. You could see, like I said, it had its morning spike right here. It had its morning spike. And then after that spike, right at 11 o'clock, right here, right at 11, that's when this channel starts forming. And then sure enough, the last hour of the day, the last half hour of the day, we got this move from $4.70 all the way up to $6. A nice $1.50 pop right here. So that's why you just got to be patient and observe these charts and trust in your support and resistance lines. The more times the stock tests a price area and it holds, the more significant that price area is going to be. So that's why, again, too, I always look at bigger time frames and work my way down. And it just goes back to show right here when the stock was in this range right here. Long wicks to the upside, long wicks to the downside. I seen we were in a range here, and then we broke out of this range. The next trading day, she gapped up, had an exaggerated spike, and then sold off the rest of the day. Even going into the next day, after drawing out our main lines right here. So we had main support here at 437, and we had big resistance up here at 570. Let's see what it did the next day. Okay, so after hours, she ran all the way up to $7. Then the next day, pre-market, it opens at $6, runs all the way up to a high of almost $10. That's crazy. She started to trend down, approaching the open, making lower lows and lower highs, and right at the open, here she popped out of the gates from $8, ran up to $9. This is happening so fast though. I wouldn't want to chase something like that at the open. I'd want this to set up and prove to me it has strength. And it ran up here to 922, and then look at, she sold off. Looks like she even got halted too. From 920s, she ran all the way down to 740 and $7. A $2 move, $2.20 move to the downside right there. And just having the patience and waiting, you could have made an opportunity on this as well. This is why I say having an eye for detail. Let the stock do what it's got to do right here. All right? And then when it had this big sell-off to the downside, you see she made a bottom right here. And then she pops up, made a resistance right there. It did get over that resistance, but then it came right back down. And look at where it bounced at right here. This support right there. That was a good opportunity right there from 7. And it's a mental area as well. $7, a whole dollar number. And from 7, she gets a nice pop up to 7.58. A nice 60-cent profit right there. And again, 1,000 shares, that's $600. A quick $600 within maybe, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. And then it comes right back down to the support and breaks through it. And now you could see right there, the support is now holding as resistance. And then it come back down, and it finally broke above it, and she popped back up again to that resistance area. She just got really choppy after this big sell down right there. And you could see that right there as it was just forming random supports right here. It bounced off the VWAP right there. Even gets a little exaggerated VWAP breakthrough right there. She just broke down the rest of the day, and you could see people just lost interest in it as the day went on. And that's another key thing too. What other stocks are popping off and having great days? If there's multiple stocks popping off and spiking and running huge, that's going to take away volume every minute that this stock isn't performing, because traders are going to go where the money is. And on this day, let's see, this was AKTX. I think ATOS was popping off. Let's see. Yeah, see, this was on a Thursday that this flatlined and fell off. And then ATOS, see, this was the hot stock on Thursday, the same day that AKTX fell off. You could just see the stock on this. It just got tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. And then she fell through, and she bottomed here at the low of the days. And from 430, she ran up to pretty much the old resistance from all right here. Got tight again, very, very tight. And she exploded up, bottomed out at 443 and topped out up here at 625. Almost a $2 move. And then she went sideways, and then she exploded up to 773. So we've been seeing great, great moves in the market and in the penny stock world. I don't really like to call stocks between $2 and $20 penny stocks. Penny stocks to me are stocks below $1, but this is what I play. This is my bread and butter. Stocks between $2 and $40 I like to play. If a stock is above $20 and it's moving, if it's got an average true range of $2, $3, and it's moving $1, $1.50 at a time, there's room to make money with that, even with 300 shares. So it's just all about discovering you as a trader and how you like to trade and developing your own strategies based around your personality and the times you're available to trade. So that's going to be it for this, guys. I just wanted to give you my thinking process and show you how I break down stocks and try to figure out what the story the stock is trying to tell me. What's the story of these emotions going through these traders? Where are they buying and selling? Because that's like I always say, you got to pay close attention to these stocks when they're running and doing their thing during the day, because they'll give you hints throughout the day. And if you're not observant and catch those little hints that the stock's giving you, then you're going to be at a disadvantage. And this is why it's important to study every day after the market, every weekend, to improve on your game and get ahead and come up with the trading plan for the next day. But I'm going to stop rambling on. That's it for this, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button and hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and join the Trading Learning 101 community. Alright, until next time, everyone, have that patience, have that discipline, and study, study, study. Alright, later, everyone.